Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Rhythm and Booze. I am Mikey.
And I'm Nikki.
I was determined whether I was thinking, I know I sound drunk, but it's because I was thinking about doing it drunk. And I was like, because I'm playing around.
Mm-hmm.
But I already did that earlier.
You were drunk earlier?
No, I was pretending to be drunk earlier when I was testing it.
You were. You're making drinks.
Yes, yes, exactly. I'm always just pretending. Hi everybody, this is a podcast where we talk about all sorts of different things in the worlds we live in, like Lindy Hop and swing dancing and burlesque and whatever we're kind of into that week or that month. And every once in a while we'll have a guest, and we do have a special guest, which we might get to. It's not a secret, but it has to do with what we're doing this week. And we'll get there when we get there. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. But let's play a little catch up. So right now we're recording a day before New Year's Eve.
Tomorrow is New Year's Eve.
Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. But what has happened in this last month? Whirlwind of December.
Christmas. Before Christmas was Vegas.
There's always time for Vegas.
We escaped to Vegas
a
minute, which we didn't talk about, but that happened. I feel like that's something significant, because last time we were like, I'm looking forward to Vegas.
Yeah. I think if you've listened to us or watched our social medias at any time, you know that we enjoy the romp or two or three or four to Vegas from time to time.
Yes, we get to Vegas quite often. I think last year there was like 6 months in a row, 7 months in a row.
8 times last year.
8 times.
Oh God.
Yeah. I have family there. I'm from there. I feel like it's home. You kind of grew up there. You spent a lot of time there.
I spent a lot of time there.
So it feels like a second home. Probably buy a house there someday.
I feel like every time we talk about it, that's what you say. You're like, I have family there, and like it's up. I'm like, you could say it for real. Like we play hard and we work hard, and we go out there and we fucking love it. We have such a good time. We eat too much. This guy.
Yeah. And
this time since you're talking about it, let's talk about it. I won $600 on video roulette.
I was so mad because I started out by winning $100 on the ponies, and they're like little mechanical ponies.
It actually goes around in a track, and you can see it every time. There's a race every 2 minutes.
It's my favorite game. It's so fun for the stupidest reason. It's just because these cute little mechanical ponies.
And you can bet $1.
Yeah,
and
you
the
can bet
odds
$1
change
time
per race.
But I always go for like the crazy odds.
Yeah.
And so this one time I hit and I won $100, and I was like, yeah, I won $100. And then I lost
the
rest of the trip. And I was just so depressed by the end of it. And the last night he won $600, and I was just like mad.
She was so mad. It was so funny, and I just kept like, "Hey,
this isn't fun anymore."
And it was so funny because we were both like, we were doing okay. I was doing okay, and you were not. And you were like, "Okay, last bet." I was like, "Yeah, last bet." So I bet on my lucky number 5, and right before the time limit was about to go out to put any more new bets, it was like 2 seconds down. I was like, "I'll double down." And so I put double, and I was paying $5 chips, and it hit, and I got some ones around it too, which in all that means I won $600.
Yeah, and when we gamble, it's like a joke.
The $20 or $40 here, like they're trying to take it away from us. We're like, don't. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we're not like crazy gamblers in any way. And he was playing roulette on a machine.
I love it.
And he wasn't there, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we usually go downtown where it's like, the minimum is $5 at a table. And it's really fun that way, because then when you lose, it's not so bad.
But when you win, it's really fun.
Yeah, and I usually only play with tip money that I've had stashed in a drawer.
She really does.
I don't feel so bad because it's like play money. But it was a good time.
It was a really good time. And speaking of Vegas, we drink, obviously, the name of the podcast.
We drink?
We drink a lot. And today we're drinking.
We don't drink a lot, but we do enjoy a drink.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a witty response to that, other than like, we drink a lot. In this week, month time, we are drinking the Smokin Santé, which when we were trying to decide what to drink, we were like, I don't know. And I looked up easy Christmas cocktails, and this was the second one on the list. The first one was like cranberry vodka.
No.
Pour this, pour that, and if you're not on the floor, make another one. But this one was really cool because it had some things that I really like. Like this one, I think it's monkey shoulder scotch. Not too smoky, a little more on the sweet side, which is really nice. And this Casamigos mezcal, which we are huge fans of mezcal. Anything smoky and on spicier side is definitely a good spot to hit. Plus the Sinar, which is artichoke basty. And apparently from our good friend Brennifer Dollenberger, he says this is the fancy one because it's got a 40 on it. And then this little one, which is called, can you read that? Angostura.
Aromatic bitters.
Aromatic bitters. Ask me what it means.
What does it mean?
I have no fucking clue. But all I know is people look fancy doing it and they like smash it on top of the drink and I was like, watch this. That felt great. This is the first like real legit cocktail I've ever made.
Needless to say, we don't make cocktails. We love cocktails. We like order them at a bar, but we don't ever make them. We've got this beautiful bar here with lots of cool
bottles.
Lots of cool bottles usually are gifts from people.
Yeah, last Christmas we got 8 bottles last year.
Yeah, but we don't typically make them at home because we both drink straight whiskey typically.
I love that she's trying to put disclaimers over the name of the podcast. We read Rhythm and Booze, and we're like, we don't drink a lot. We don't drink a lot, but you're right.
I haven't had a drink.
We don't anymore.
In like 2 days, I had a glass of wine.
True. I feel like, and I think hopefully you might agree with me. I feel like everybody gained a little bit of a superpower during the heated times of the pandemic. And I think one of our pandemic powers was being able to polish off some bottles of something.
Yes. There was the bottle of wine Instagram live phase.
Oh yeah, that was
which preceded this podcast.
That's when I turned to Nikki and I was like, hey, you're really good at this. It's really fun. Maybe we should do this for real.
You forgot to mention our garnish.
Oh, our garnish came from our tree, the Nordsman.
The ominous Christmas tree outside the window right now.
Yeah, take a look at Instagram. We'll put it on Instagram. And we'll also put the recipe for what this drink is on the notes below and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep it on going.
Christmas.
Before that, I'm going to go on the list that we have here. The first thing on it, because I'm super proud of her, is that all of a sudden, about a week ago, less than a week ago, one of your videos on Instagram like fucking popped off like crazy, and it was like, and then it was like 100,000, it was like 500,000, then all of a sudden 1 million views, and I was like, holy shit, that was your first 1 million views.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with social media.
Who doesn't?
No, I know. Yeah. I don't understand it at all. It's not like I did this on purpose. The video that kind of went crazy is not great quality. Right. It's like a fun video because of what it is. It's me and 4 atomic cherry bombs and sexy and cute and but yeah, it's not something that I like wanted to necessarily take off.
It's so funny because it's like I'm gonna think. Well, you take off the corset and that's about it. But then you turn around and then you're just wearing the tiniest thong with like bedazzled with amazing, beautiful rhinestones. And I'm like, that's what got everybody. That's like within the first 5 seconds. And I'm like, that's what got everybody. Obviously, we want to see what's gonna happen. And you did it right. You didn't show them too much. You teased it, baby. You teased it.
It's my job. No, it's really funny because I feel like I've had Instagram for, I don't know, maybe 10 years.
It's like a 2, 3, 4, 5 decades.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It feels like forever, but it's such a weird platform to try and grow on, but it's such a necessary evil. And that's something we talk about all the time is that, you know, not only being a small business owner, but being a show producer and being an individual artist myself, I have to have social media and I have to post a lot. I get a lot of bookings just by posting on Instagram. And unfortunately, that's the only way to like put ourselves out there, you know? Like there's TikTok and other things like that. And TikTok is way easier to grow. I think on TikTok there's I have like 42,000 followers, which is crazy.
The idea of everything, from what I've read, I am by no means like professional on that, but from what I've read is that Instagram keeps changing things in the background, which changes things in the algorithm, which makes it so that people who don't often use it try to go to it more when they're shown things they want to be seen. And TikTok does it in the same certain way, but their algorithm is a little more honed in to a person at a time. and they have some changes and everything. So it's really cool that you got that million, because then you grew 5,000 new followers in that kind of last 3, 4, 5 days now.
Yeah.
And you asked me, you're like, I don't even know what to do with this, and I was like, obviously, like, you're gonna promote Muse, which is awesome show that everyone should come see, and then that way that people will grow to that one. The same thing with the ballroom, and the same thing with our dance store. I think it's an important business tool to use when you know where to focus it towards, you know. So that growth right there is gonna be really, really great for hopefully pushing into the other parts. And I'm sure there's people out there be like, that's not how it works. You have to grow your audience and then capitalize on them and then market them.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm already seeing a larger following on Muse because the clip that was posted was from Muse. So, I mean, that's really what it's all about to me, to grow that show, to grow the ballroom, to grow the store. Like, yeah, for me personally, that's awesome. And it leads to more bookings and, you know, whatnot. But it's more to help, like, grow everything else.
It is really cool because that number does play a factor into, like, how important it feels. Like, that's not the right word I'm looking to use, but like maybe like, oh, this person has this many people following them, like maybe I should pay attention a little more. What's their thing? But I think in this case right here with Muse, it made it so that like maybe that show will grow in general, and we'll have more people showing up at the show because they're like, I saw you on Instagram or TikTok. Speaking of Muse, we just had Muse, the Christmas edition, and you did that act in the show. And not to rush to the ending, but how did you feel about the ending of that act?
Which part?
The ending.
The very, very ending?
Yeah, you know, when things went not so accordingly to plan.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. You know, that's a lot of burlesque is being able to improvise in the moment because things go wrong. Things are not planned.
But it was so great. The look in your face when you like, I'll just say it, when you didn't notice the cap was still on the champagne bottle that was about to be poured on you. You're like, motherfucker. And you like pulled that shit off and threw it on the audience. Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is, so at the end of this act, I feel bad saying this because everybody hates it, but I did a glitter pour, which is, it's kind of annoying because...
And fucking badass.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it has a big impact for the audience when you do a glitter pour. It's annoying for everybody else in the show, and they all hate me for it, and they're all covered in glitter afterwards. But yeah, there's a reason why I had to go last, not because I think I'm like the greatest, but because I'm gonna make a mess.
Exactly.
And I have to, because literally nobody can go after that act. It's too dangerous.
It was a lot, and it was really funny because you debuted that act last year at Christmas time, and it's you like took it easy on it. You were like very cautious, and I understand that. And this year I was like, no, you have to go more. You have to go more. You have to go more. And then you did it, and it came out like a fucking
here's why.
Like winter storm of glitter, just like all over you, and then all over the back. And as you walked off stage, I was like, oh my gosh, you're completely half gold.
When I got it all on my face too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So like I did one last little flick and it went all down my face, and because of all the makeup and stuff, it just stuck to my face.
It was awesome. It was so cool.
So what happened was I was handed the bottle, and this is not anybody's fault. I should have said, take the cap off. They didn't know. But there was like a cork in the top of the champagne bottle. So I was already shaking the shit out of it, like ready to make this mess. And I realized nothing was happening.
Yep.
And so I was like angry at it, and like ripped the cap off and threw it.
You can see like the split second of like on your face, and I'm like, oh shit.
And then when I went to pour it, because I had shook it so hard, all of the glitter was like in the neck of the champagne bottle, and so it just came out like a waterfall.
It was awesome.
It was crazy.
It's one of those things where like even if that was champagne or like just water or like it was this time, like I think most people are like, I wish I could be that. Like not in a weird way, but also like imagine if people were just like, I just want to like do that over my head.
The fun of it.
Just for the fun of it, you know, like that's really, really cool. And I think that was a really cool fantasy that you played out in front of everybody. It was like, that shit is awesome. And that's why I was like urging you, I was like, go for it, just go for it.
It's pretty fun, yeah. I think for myself, I hate to be a bother to anybody anytime ever. And so I couldn't help but like when I came out for curtain call, like, I'm sorry to everybody.
It was so.
I'm
so
sorry
good.
if you went home with glitter. I'm
So
sorry.
worth it. So worth it. But then after all of that news, we had like a week left of Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
And then we celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. We got a lot done in that week. Jesus.
Yeah,
that was
we
a
had
ton.
to.
And we worked the dance store a ton because we were just
Oh my god, yeah.
completely short staffed.
We've been so short staffed, and we don't have a choice but to work ourselves
Which is
to
fine.
cover it, which is fine.
Yeah.
It saves us money, really, so it's great. But I was finding myself in a weird place this Christmas. Just it's the first Christmas being divorced and in this new relationship. We said that for the first time right
With
now.
who?
With you.
With me?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And it's hard not to. It's so hard to explain. I'm sure anybody out there has gone through a divorce and it's traumatic in its own right. But then celebrating the holidays and trying to make magic for kids at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I found myself dreading Christmas in general, and I just wanted it to be over, and I had no joy in shopping, and I get excited about doing stuff for the kids here and there, but in general I was mad at it. I think
that's the perfect way to sum that all
it's
up.
like wrapping presents angrily.
I'm like
Year.
wrapping 2 gifts at a time while she's wrapping 10, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like a master at
Yeah,
wrapping
seriously, it was crazy. Do you think a lot of it is compounded feelings of the season, plus on top of that, issues from the past?
Yeah, I think so, but it's also, I feel, and I'm sure a lot of parents feel this as a mom, even though I might be feeling shitty about the season or about my situation in life or whatever it is, I still have to make it awesome for the kids, and I still want them to have the best Christmas ever. Every year, I want it to be the best Christmas ever.
You always say that you got to make magic happen.
Yeah, and I put that pressure on myself, but that's what I was raised with. My mom and dad were amazing. We had the most awesome Christmases year after year after year, and being in this new situation with the kids, I just wanted desperately for them to have that same magic, even though their dad might not be around in the same way. He's still around, but not in the same way that they're used to. And having you join us for Christmas in this new way, and that was its own new kind of magic, and the kids were so happy.
Well, I think it's really, when we were kind of talking about what to talk about in the show, we were discussing whether we should talk about this in general. And I think it's important because a lot of things happen around the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas that are just amazing and painful at the same time.
Yeah.
Without going into what the rest of the world and just kind of focusing on us. I've seen it go around you and through you, the idea that the magic needs to happen, the idea of the divorce or any sort of bitterness, but also on top of that, making sure you're there for the kids and making sure their happiness is first. I've seen it all happen, and I can only imagine what other people around the world having to deal with their own issues and their own versions of this have to go through at the same time. I'm new to this, so I'm still kind of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed into it, and so I think we level each other off a lot. But
Mikey
really,
comes in and wins Christmas.
Did I win Christmas?
I think so.
Christmas? How did I win
The
Christmas?
Black Panther. He got my son the bust Lego of Black Panther. It's so cool.
It's
that
so
was
cool.
The winning gift I think
It's
this year.
huge. It's 2 feet by 2 feet box, and it's crazy.
I think it was kind of for him too.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm totally helping him with that, obviously. But I think it's really good to recognize everybody. This time of the year isn't the best for some people, and it's okay to admit that. And it's really, really helpful for yourself to admit that to the closest person you can, because sometimes things go off the rails and we do things that maybe are too impactful to the people around us. And I think it's important for us to say that Christmas is awesome, Christmas is great. It's about gift giving, it's about being with the people you love, but also it's about understanding that the things in life can come up in that moment, and we really need to address it. Not necessarily deal with it and calm it, but address it. So every time you were feeling that stuff, and I was like, okay, let's talk it out. I want to hear everything. Even if it's the same couple of things or 5 things or 10 things, however many things it was, it's gotta get it out of yourself. I can tell you, you can't keep that inside you. You gotta get it out, look at it, and then you can kind of decide what to do with it afterwards.
Yeah, I think I had this sentiment going into Thanksgiving this year too, and I felt it come around again at Christmas time, is that I'm a divorced mom, I'm 40 years old, I've got these two kids that are 10 and 14, they're like, are used to doing Christmas morning and then packing up and going to family's house, or Thanksgiving, going to a couple different families' houses and running around and doing this whole thing. And I was like, wait a second, when do I get to be the adult? When do I get to set the tradition with my family the way that I want it to be? And I think I felt that pressure to like do what the family wanted and do what I wanted, and then also like fit into this new family. And it's a really interesting and difficult place to be. And I ended up telling my parents this year, like, hey, I'm working a lot, I'm exhausted, I really just want to be home on Christmas. And it was really nice. We stayed home. My dad came down and visited for a minute. We watched movies all day. We ordered Chinese food.
Man, we didn't get up from the couch for like a couple, like good 3 or 4 movies.
It was awesome. And I can't remember, maybe except pandemic.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time, before that I have done that. It's been such a runaround craziness, and especially with Lindy Focus, which is happening right now, and working that event for so many years, and not experiencing what it's like to just be home on Christmas.
Exactly, because like our 2 situations with Lindy Focus in the past was either leaving on Christmas Day or leaving the day after Christmas. And like you said, like packing them and going to families' houses, and then leaving the kids with family, and then going and packing your own stuff and then leaving the next day. Like that's a lot of stress. Like amazing work for everybody that made it to Lindy Focus safely and on time, or not on time. Just getting there in general is a hell of a trip. But hopefully you guys are having a blast. Like I know I definitely have some like guilt of like not being there. Like I'm watching all the contests or like the little videos that come here and there. I'm like, damn, it looks great. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, I'm good with where I am right now.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of, oh man, FOMO, like I miss that. I know what that feeling is to be there and participate in that, and I did it for so many years. But then I remember the last couple years of Lindy Focus that I was there, I started to feel like, well, what's it like to be home? I've got this beautiful, amazing ballroom, and I've never really put on a big New Year's Eve event.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to perform at other people's shows on New Year's or produce my own show on New Year's. And so there's a lot of FOMO the other way.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to, I think, feel both ways about it and not feel one is dominant over the other. Maybe in when you're thinking about it, one wins over, but then you switch over and then the other one wins over. So like in this case, it's like, oh, being Lindy Focus, damn, oh, look at that contest. But then, oh, being home and being able to be with the family, and also putting on our own New Year's event and putting on like 2 New Year's events this year. Last year we put on a really great one.
Yeah.
COVID kind of like bit us in the ass a little bit.
Yeah,
we had
the last minute.
Full orchestra. New Year's, which is amazing. Full Jonathan Stout orchestra, which is amazing. But then, right when we like let go of the masks mandate, then there was another one put in place. So then we put it back in there. But we got a bar there, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was the first time we had a bar.
Yeah, that was really cool. Fun. But this year is gonna be super low key. There's gonna be no band this time, but there's gonna be lots of people hanging out. A good time for everybody, and it's super inexpensive.
It's inexpensive, and it's family friendly, and it's like the most PG New Year's of all time.
It's gonna be great. Come dressed in your finest suit, dress, or pajamas, or anything in between.
Yeah.
And come have a good time. By the time this goes out, it'll probably be New Year's Eve, so you probably made your plans. But in case if you don't, head on over to Atomic.
I got this really awesome opportunity at another venue in Orange County to produce a New Year's show that we're doing tomorrow. It's tomorrow. It's scary. It's always scary to do something new at a new venue, and it's the first time. But it's this 5-course dinner and wine pairing with flash performances throughout 2 hours from 7 to 9. We're done at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I'm going to be home in sweats by 10 p.m. and I'm so excited about it.
The people at the country club in Costa Mesa are really smart, and they put on a club every weekend with a DJ and bottle service and everything. And so they're doing that same thing, just a little bit bigger for New Year's. But that happens after 9. Before 9 is like the pre-party dinner, which is super amazing. I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. Like, have a little party for the people who don't want to like charge hard into the new year, and just like have something really sincere and cool. And they were like, let's have a dinner show with it.
Yeah. So we're doing. It's people that I've booked for Muse in the past, so we're calling it a Muse burlesque show. But it's a little different. There's no MC. It's just kind of like a flash show. So every 15 minutes, there's a different performer throughout this dinner, which should be interesting because this isn't like our typical burlesque audience. You know, so
they're gonna be.
See how it goes.
There's gonna be a lot of newbies in there for sure, and I think it's gonna be nice for them to like have a dinner and a show, as opposed to maybe going to a show where you just maybe have a drink or you don't know what to do and you're like twiddling your fingers. I feel like they're gonna be like, oh, there goes a bra. Okay, I'm gonna eat into this very nice Atlantic salmon.
Yeah. So I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
It'll be different, and it's also a foot in the door to this new venue, which you know we've gone and enjoyed dancing there.
Yeah, because
times this year.
They have live music on Thursday nights, and they have an amazing cocktail bar and an amazing dinner menu. So we've been there a couple times to go dancing and enjoy all that.
Yeah. So it's tomorrow. It's New Year's Eve, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I also feel like it's just gonna be really fun. And
you're gonna do great. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, maybe we'll do more there.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, this means that we'll be able to kind of push that forward.
Yeah, maybe a brunch.
Ooh, you said it.
Show,
ooh, you said it.
A Valentine's show.
Everyone loves a brunch show, right?
Yeah, they do.
And speaking about that, like in the future, we love New Year's in a way where it's also a time to like that doesn't make any sense. So it's fine. Here's what I meant to say is I feel like when New Year's comes around, everyone tends to look back and like the year that was, and like let's remember that and let's reminisce, which is super cool. But I think with today's show, we want to go the other way. We want to say, awesome, see you later, 2022, 2023 already is exciting for us, and we'd love to talk about that and share that with you guys, and couple the events and cool things and producing things that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And the first one. This is just the first 6 months, by the way. So this is the first 6 months of the year.
And this is like minimal.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
Like what has been added so far.
Yeah, which who knows what else will be added. We did have to take away a couple of things in there where we're like, let's not talk about that one yet. But the first one is the California Balboa Classic, which happening back in Pasadena, Los Angeles. This year, starting on that date in January 18th.
Third weekend. Oh, we're the worst.
Third weekend. It is. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because the 7th is the first one, which is the teen workshop, and the 14th is the ballroom one, and it's on that one.
Yeah.
It's on the 14th. There we go. It's the 13th weekend. 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
Let's just say, no, it's fine. It's gonna be in January. Cal Bal Classic. We're very excited, obviously.
But we talked about with Andrea, who was on. If you listened to our last episode of the podcast, Andrea and Gordon was on with us, and the three of us are emceeing together, which should be really fun and interesting. And
might be a shit show, but might be the best thing the Balboa scene has ever seen.
I think that or they will never hire us again.
And they were never heard of them again. No, I think it's really great. I think when the organizers, Jason and Laura and Jen, came to us, originally they wanted me and you because they wanted more California representation. And we've been dancing here pretty exclusively all of our dance life and all of our dance careers. And then they couldn't do last year because of COVID heated up again. But this year they're having the in-person thing, and they asked us plus Andrea, which I think is great because all three of us again are exclusively in Southern California. We like live and breathe this stuff, and on top of that, like who we are as people. Like Andrea is an amazing leader, up and coming. I am is also like in this way kind of been pushing the thing, and then you have one of the biggest ballrooms in all of Southern California, not all the country. The world possibly that really is amazing. So that's the things we have here, and I can't wait to be like on the microphone and just like see what things happen, because I feel like I'm so much more like in the idea of like trying to entertain but not be over the top, ridiculous, but also be like funny and poignant and in the moment of like what's the current situation happening in the community and try to tap into that. Oh, I can't wait for that stuff. It's so good.
Is it weird that I'm more concerned about what I'm gonna wear?
On brand. On brand.
No, I don't mean that in like a vain sort of way, but like,
not at all.
I'm like, do I wear sparkles or like, is that not okay in Balboa? You know, like.
Well, here's the thing.
Do I go like burlesque side, or do I go Lindy Hop side, or like I'm in between because I don't want to scare anybody away?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like you said the same thing when you emceed Inspiration Weekend in 2020. That was the last Inspiration Weekend. And I think you did great. I think you wrote a line very nicely. Like, I think it's not necessarily I'm going to show up like a dancer. I'm going to show up like someone that's meant to be on TV. You know? And so, like, I want to look the best I feel, you know?
Yeah.
That's the way to feel about it.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't, like, consider myself a Balboa dancer. Like, yeah. I dance Balboa. I love Balboa, you know? But I don't consider myself like pigeonholed into that one area, so I'm like, what do Balboa dancers wear? Do I have to dress like a Balboa dancer? But like, you know, I think just too much about it. And then I, of course, am messaging you and Andrea like, are we coordinating outfits? Like, what do we... Maybe we need to get like Adidas tracksuits.
That's what we'll do in the daytime.
Yeah.
With all the daytime stuff.
I think we should, with like our names on the back.
I think you jokingly said this, but quite seriously meant this. That you're going to spend more than you're making at Cowbell on just the outfits alone.
I'm trying not to do that, but then I see
see
stuff and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty for holding a microphone.
But you know what though? I think like this, like, I think there's lots of good differences between a lot of the communities. Let's say just like the four major ones that I can think off the top of my head that are more vintage focused. Mm-hmm. So like the Lindy Hop community, the Balboa community, mm-hmm. the newer collegiate shag community, and blues. And I think all four communities have differences that make their community and their dance so great and makes people want to go towards or gravitate towards it more than the others. But I think there is no need for division. And I don't think there's anything that can be gained by focusing only on the things that separate us. Like, I think it's really, really good to be like, hey, we all like good music. We all like looking good. We all like representing where these dances came from and pushing them into the future. And we are trying our best. And I think that's why I'm super excited to go back to Cowbell.
Yes.
In a different sense, because I used to be a part of the administration of it all. I was there at the first one in Pasadena, way up until like the last one in 2019. Yeah, where you were in crutches. No, 2020, you were in crutches.
I was on crutches, that's right.
That was crazy.
That was not fun.
Yeah.
I should not have gone.
I remember you were like there for like 2 hours. You're like, I'm ready to go.
So much. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, very excited to go back there. Plus all the amazing music, plus all the people that I haven't seen in 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, I remember. That was in 2019, Cowbell, and just dancing in the band in the corner and having the best time. The music is just so good.
Yeah.
You can't have bad dance. Like, everything is so fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2020 was not great.
Nope.
It was really hard to sit there on crutches and
really
watch people dance and be miserable.
And it was cold that weekend too. It was super cold.
It'll be fun to be back. And no, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. And the last thing I want to add to this is I can't wait to be on a microphone again. Because definitely there was I'm holding you. I love talking into you. I was holding the microphone. And I think I really love it. I really missed it. I really liked it. Like, there was definitely a thing during the pandemic where I like maybe my phone compiled a bunch of things of me on a microphone. And I was like, oh shit, that was really fun. Oh, that was really fun too. Oh, that's really awesome. And I was like, damn, and I put it out in the universe. I was like, you know what? I'll be MC again. And that's when Cowbell came. So thank you guys for giving me the chance.
Manifested that shit.
But that's the first one. The next one after that is brand newish.
I think this might be the second
Burlesque
year.
festival?
Yeah. So I don't know. This year I just felt like I've never really been involved with the bigger or any national or even international burlesque festivals. I've done like a spattering of them over the years. But this year I was like, fuck, all this cool stuff is happening. Like, I want to be a part of this. Like, this is the bigger part of the scene that I'm not really involved in. I do a lot locally. But there's this whole other world to the scene, and that's festivals, just like Lindy Hop events. Exactly. But we call them festivals. And I applied to Teaser Fest, which is in New Orleans, which I'm really, really excited about. And it's produced by Eldorado, who is an amazing performer. The first time I saw her perform, she did an act where she brought out a portable ice skating floor. No joke. And did like a professional ice skating striptease at BHOF, the Burlesque Hall of Fame Weekender. And I was just blown away. And ever since then, I've been a huge fan of her.
Amazing.
And then I got to work with her at Theater Bazaar this year. And she was like, you got to apply to, in Detroit, you need to apply to Teaser Fest. And I was like, what's Teaser Fest? And I hadn't even really heard of it. So I came home and I applied and I was accepted. And, you know, it's such a funny thing, and it's something we talk about all the time that is something that's unique to the burlesque world, is when you want to be a part of something, whether it's a local show or it's a festival or whatnot, you apply for the jobs that you want. Mm-hmm. So events have, or festivals have, submissions, and you submit various acts to the shows that they're producing. And sometimes the shows will have different themes. There might be like a classic theme or a fetish theme or a whatever.
Innovators.
Yeah, and you could, and some of them have competitions. So you could say, I'm happy, put me anywhere, which is what I usually do. Like, if you think I belong in a competition, put me there. If you think I'm good for a showcase, put me there. So anyway, I was accepted to perform in the opening show on Thursday night of the event. And I'm really, really excited.
It's going to be super fun. And we're going to get to go to New Orleans again, which I haven't been back in a very long time. I can't remember the last time, honestly.
We've never been together.
We've never been together. And I can't wait for the amazing music that's going to be all around us. Seeing old dance friends and seeing a bunch of new performer burlesque friends.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing.
A lot of friends.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm very excited for these shows. Like, I've only been to a couple, maybe a handful of festivals or kind of adjacent things. But like, watching these shows is amazing. Like, I'm just like overloaded with ideas, and watching people just come on stage, like Eldorado coming on stage with an ice rink. I didn't get to see it, but I can just imagine that. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't wait to see things that just blow my mind on what people are creating out there, especially in a different environment than my own kind of dance world, and seeing this adjacent world of performer burlesque. Like, oh my God, it's the coolest shit.
It's so exciting. It's so fun. But on top of, you know, participating in that festival, we have some other fun stuff planned when we're in New Orleans. Should we say what it is?
Go for it.
We're gonna record an episode of the podcast there.
Our first remote one.
Yeah, our first remote one this season. With Amy Johnson.
Hey, if you know who Amy Johnson is, that's a very sad state in the Lindy Hop world, because that woman changed everything. We'll kind of leave it at that for now, but you can go look her up on social media. She's pretty active, especially right now. So go look her up. Go look up YouTube stuff.
She just made a huge announcement, I think yesterday.
I think it was like 2 days ago.
A couple days ago, that she's bringing back ULHS, the Ultimate Lindy Hop Showdown. And if you don't know what that is, YouTube.
Look that shit up.
Yeah, go look it up. Go follow them on Instagram, because they're posting all of these really funny memes that if you've been there, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I think without kind of spoiling it and just letting Amy talk about it in her own words, in her own kind of way, she definitely has a special place in my heart, with like, as a person, plus as an innovator in the modern Lindy Hop scene. So there's more to come with that. Moving forward from there, we have a very special birthday. My birthday. You know, I'm not one to toot my own horn, but
wait, where are we going for your birthday?
Where the fuck do you think we're going to? We're going to Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm hoping that you get too crazy that I end up in a barrel on the bottom of Lake Mead.
Oh my God!
No, on top of Lake Mead. I'm sorry, I'll be on top.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God!
We talked about that last podcast. We're not supposed to say that.
Now, like, oh my God?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, because people get upset if you say that.
Someone came up to me and said that.
I know. No, we're going to Vegas, but it's not just us this time. We have friends coming.
Oh, we have so many friends coming. My brother's going to come, my Claire's going to come, and my sister-in-law, and Rachel, I think Lil and Eric, and...
all kinds of people.
And
maybe some Vegas performers.
It'll
be a good time.
Oh, I can't wait to gamble again. I mean, I can't wait to drink again. I mean, I can't wait to go to a show again.
It's funny because I'm like, oh, your birthday's coming. I gotta start planning stuff. And then I look at the calendar and he's already made reservations for everything. I'm like, well,
I'm very self-sufficient.
You planned your own birthday, so...
Be there.
Maybe I'll make an appearance.
But that's just super fun because it's like, again, like we talked about at the top of the show, unintentionally, but that's our playground. When we work super hard, like legitimately on our phones, in the middle of the night, like still answering text messages, answering messages.
It never ends.
It never ends. And I mean, I get that. Like I saw my mom go through that all my life with her small business. But now, like we get the chance to, like, we work hard and we will play hard. And we'll go for it, and we'll die for a few days afterwards.
Have really good dinners.
We'll have really good dinners, and watch really good shows.
Yeah. Have fun with friends.
And
That's what it's about.
drink gallons and gallons of rum and whiskey. So stay tuned to our socials for that one. That new 4,000 or 5,000 people. Get ready for some weird fucking stories. And then after that, we have a kind of different occurrence, which is the San Francisco gig.
Yeah. There's an amazing producer in LA named Donna Hood.
Great
and yeah, she produces an amazing show, an amazing company called Tease Product. Oh, by the way, I keep saying amazing, he keeps saying amazing. If you ever wanted to play a drinking game during this podcast, drink every time we say amazing, amazing, amazing.
No one's gonna want to play that game.
Because every time I listen to it, I'm like, God, we keep saying amazing. It's so annoying.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but you beat me out today.
I hate myself for it. I keep hearing it and I can't stop.
So what's fantastic about Tease Productions?
She's incredible.
There you go.
Donna Hood produces Tease Productions, and she puts on these great shows in LA that are big theatrical productions with amazing chorus lines and
costumes
that are just unbelievable.
The whole thing is epic. The whole thing is amazing.
It really is. And there's nothing like it that's happening in modern burlesque, or, you know, it's something that you would see in the old movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, she invited us to come participate in this gig in San Francisco with Lizzie and the Triggermen, and we get to just dance on stage with the band, which is
something that we love doing anyways.
The best kind of gig. We just get to social dance, but we get like costumed in hair and makeup, and I love that so much because it never happens.
Awesome. It's going to be so much fun to do because exactly the things you said, but also it's something really special, I think, when you go to a show and there's a live band and there's just an audience that are just ready to hear live music and just enjoy that night. And then all of a sudden, here comes some dancers with this high energy, and they're like, whoa! And they kind of put the two together. They're like, oh, the live music with the partner dancing that goes together, and they can see the two pieces finally fit. And they're like, oh, and you can just see that spark, and they're just like, wow, that's what I needed. That was that last little missing essence that is sometimes needed in these production shows.
Yeah, and if you haven't ever heard Lizzie and the Triggermen, they're a local LA band featuring
some of the best.
Not amazing, musicians. But fantastic musicians. I mean, they're amazing too. God, see,
cannot hear it.
I need to like fix my vocabulary.
Keep drinking, it helps.
Thesaurus.
Just
put them on the table. I can just look down and choose a different one each time I want to say amazing.
They are not amazing. They are fantastic. They're creative. They're energetic. Best.
Lizzie in and of herself is fantastic. She's such a show person in general, and her musicians are incredible.
Yeah.
And we get to hear them locally.
And we had the privilege of performing with them at amazing places in LA called like the Troubadour, the Wiltern, Clifton's,
historical
Palm
LA
Springs
landmarks that, you know, we're so lucky to have, you know, been able to be a part of those productions.
Yeah, so we're very much looking forward to this San Francisco gig because also it's in San Francisco and we get to go hang out in a city we haven't been to together, which is going to be super great as well.
Oh, since like 2008.
Yeah, exactly.
No. 2008?
Maybe.
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
Crazy.
Ooh, that was forever ago.
Uh-huh.
We're like different people now. Get it?
We are.
And then after that, we may or may not have this thing. We'll tell you more later. We're super vague right now, called Minor Swing. We're still waiting to hear from a bunch of people, but we're looking to do it the second weekend of March. So keep your calendars.
Just do a save the date.
Saved for us.
And you know us, we'll like blast.
Surprise!
If it's happening.
Exactly. Then after that is something that's old but new, the Hollywood Burlesque Festival.
Yeah, again, I decided this year I was going to submit to stuff.
Goddamn right.
And I was accepted to everything so far, except one I haven't heard from yet, which is the big one later. We'll talk about later. But Hollywood Burlesque Festival, it's under new ownership. It used to be run by Lily Von Stoop, who is someone...
Say that fucking name one more time.
Lily Von Stoop.
Exactly. That's exactly what you heard. Because that one of my favorite things in life is
hearing...
Exactly. One of her favorite things in life is Blazing Saddles. But one of my favorite things in life is hearing performers' names for like the first time or like ever or over and over again. Every time you say it so casually, and I'm like, whoa, say that name again. That's so good. People have the best names out there.
They really do.
But anyway, sorry. Lily is
like the
originator?
Yes, she is. She's the one who originally produced the festival, but she's also like the mother to many, many LA burlesque performers. She had a show. She had a show in LA called Monday Night Teas that was on for over 10 years.
At 3 clubs, right?
At 3 clubs, yeah. It was a big deal for the scene, and she fostered so many performers into the scene. Anyway, she's passed this festival on to Misspent Youth. So Misspent Youth is, from a different generation of burlesque, and so it's really interesting to see how she's gonna take this festival and run with it. And I submitted to it again, like, put me where you want me, whether it's competition or whatnot. And I'm in the category for competing for Miss Hollywood Burlesque.
Get it?
Yeah.
I mean, screaming out loud.
But the people in this category are incredible performers and people that I look up to and people that are friends, and it's really exciting to be in this category. And it's an act that's very me. It's big ass fans, and it's this act I call Goddess.
It's gonna be so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really excited to perform it. I don't even care. The thing is, when I got into burlesque, I never considered competing. Like that's why when I enter these festivals, I'm kind of like, whatever, put me wherever. I never wanted to compete because I competed in my Lindy Hop life, and I felt like this was like the fun thing, and I didn't want to make it about that. And for people to put me in that position, then I'm like, okay.
Well, what's funny? What's funny is like the way you just framed it right now, like triggered a thing, because like that's how I felt about a lot of my swing dancing in Lindy Hop for the very beginning. I was like, no, it's just for fun. Like I don't want to compete. I don't want to teach. I don't want to do all this stuff. And then you're kind of like given an opportunity, or like maybe I'll just try it. Okay, yeah. And you're like, that was exhilarating. I must have more. Where is there more? But I feel like with Hollywood Burlesque Festival, for us it was one of those things where we came down to a choice between Hollywood Burlesque Festival and a Lindy Hop event, and we were like we played it back and forth, and I was like, you know what, like you're pushing forward with this, and we can see the next 6 months of our lives like come through. Like I want to support you with this, and I am so happy to see the local Southern California community, plus people have coming in from all over to come experience it, because I think something that is going to like help it kind of move forward is just the new leadership will kind of push it in this new direction that maybe not necessarily wasn't before, but like just new leadership always does. And I feel like they're going to really press that forward, and I think it's going to come out with new ideas, and new people will be more inspired, and maybe some really amazing acts will come out from this, because I can only imagine what the other performers feel and start imagining in the moment when they're watching something that like I know I do, and they get the chance to actually go out and perform it. So it's gonna be really cool to watch everybody perform there. Yeah,
I'm really excited to see what Misspent Youth and her team does with this festival in general. I feel like I don't know, this idea, this concept of Miss Hollywood Burlesque or the Hollywood Burlesque Festival or MX Hollywood Burlesque, however people win it, has the potential to be a really, really amazing festival. Yeah, she's a great producer and does a lot of shows locally that are really unique and interesting. And I think
it has pretty much a weekly or bi-weekly show at the El Cid.
I'm not sure how often it is, maybe monthly, but
definitely check out. I know Miss May Youth has some show in one way or another at the El Cid, which is a great little venue, but it has so much character, and it's is that Silver Lake? No.
I think it's Hollywood proper. Yeah. What's amazing, what's
Nah.
great about their shows is that it's gonna kill me. Her husband is a musician, and they do a lot of original music for the shows, which is something that's really, really unique for the shows anywhere in the world.
Like, if you guys ever get a chance to watch the whole fucking show of Marvelous Miss Maisel, first off. Second off, when you get to season 3, I think it's season 3 or season 4.
I don't know.
Spoilers, Miss Maisel is in a burlesque show venue in New York, and it's really cool. They use a lot of actual burlesque performers, and they kind of pushed the production value, which made it look amazing. They had a lot of representation, or some representation. I mean, we could always do better. Yeah, some. Yeah.
No, I saw the casting call. It was like white, no tattoos. But yeah.
Never mind then. But go watch it, and because they really capture the essence of what used to be a long time ago in the theater with live music, and I think it's really cool. It gives you just a view, not the best view, not the perfect view, not the absolute view, but just a view of what that burlesque life was like a long time ago.
Glimpse into what could have been.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Yeah,
I don't know how accurate it is because there's a lot of POC performers who were paving the way for all of us today, and that show definitely didn't represent that, but it did represent what it could have been in the big theaters back in the day.
Yeah, that's great. Exactly. Moving on from that, we have another big birthday.
Who? Just kidding.
This chick over here.
No, but that's like all the way in April, so I don't want to talk about birthdays.
No, we have to because we have to talk about your birthday. You know why?
Why?
Because it coincides with another festival.
Yeah, but we don't have to talk about my birthday. Like
No. It's not about the birthday itself. It's about the festival.
Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas. Exactly.
So wait, we're going back to Vegas. Yeah. It's the third time we talked about Vegas in this podcast. We don't have a problem, I swear.
Been a little one.
But yeah, I get to go back as an employee of Viva Las Vegas.
What is Viva Las Vegas?
Viva Las Vegas is the biggest rockabilly weekend in the world, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it's these incredible bands from all over the world. And we've talked about this in the podcast before if you've listened with us. But I wish that more Lindy Hoppers would come to this event.
Yeah,
and I'm going to put out there right now, if you're a Lindy Hopper and you're listening to this, please come to Viva. We really need you. It's
so cool. If you love live music in any form, Viva is the place for you because for all the Lindy Hoppers out there or all the performers out there, imagine that the main focus for a lot of our festivals is a performance or performance or dancing. At Viva, the main part is live music. Every 45 minutes to every hour, there's a total of 4 or 5 rooms, and they all change bands. So you'll get a brand new band every hour, and you just have to room hop all the way around. And then one of my favorite parts of Viva is the midnight show that they have in the lobby, or in the casino, the casino bar. And that one, they have a new band every half hour. And that half hour sometimes is the craziest, rockiest time because people will come to the whole festival to see that one band that plays that half hour, and that place is packed. Oh my God. It's so cool. I've heard some amazing music that I just haven't heard anywhere else other than old records or old school Lindy Hop events.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best things of Viva that I can't wait to look forward to or can't wait to be at again is listening to all these bands, dancing, and just having a good time. It just feels so readily open to insert your good time here.
Yeah, it really is. I get to participate in Burlesque Bingo. It's exactly what it sounds like. There's a bingo card on the floor. It's like a catwalk, but it has the bingo numbers on it. So we perform on that catwalk and on a little stage. And then behind us, there's a giant bingo board. And so everybody in the audience has a bingo card or several bingo cards. And as we perform, we throw our stuff on the numbers, and if you're really loud or persuade us to throw it, you know,
I need B63. B63.
But it's really fun and interactive, and I'm really excited to perform at Burlesque Bingo.
That's gonna be so much fun. And then they also have, was that last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, you performed at the Miss Viva Las Vegas competition.
Yeah, the competition. That was another festival that I was accepted to.
That was the first time your mom saw you.
It was.
Do the burlesque thing.
It was.
And she was so happy and so nervous because she sat right next to me as she did it. Nikki comes out, Moxie comes out. She was the first one of 6.
Oh, it was horrible to go first.
Yeah, but it was great. It was so amazing. Your mom didn't have to wait too long, and she's like holding on to me like this. And then as soon as you were done, she like turns over and was like, "I'm so glad she's good. Oh, I'm so glad she's good." I was like, me too. And that was like the most heartwarming thing I've ever seen. Ever, of mom being like, "Oh, she is good. Oh, thank God." Oh, yeah. Not worried about like what clothes were gonna come off or like what maybe a wardrobe malfunction might happen. No, just are you good? But are you good?
Yeah, I'm so glad you were there to like coach her through what was happening.
Oh yeah, she was great. And then after that, every performer afterwards, like no shade to anybody. Everybody did amazing in that contest, but she was just like, "Oh no, Nikki was better. Nikki, Nikki was better." It was so funny. I was like, that's true support, Mom. Good job.
That was the first time my mom saw me perform burlesque, and it was so perfect to have. You know, we're from Vegas. My mom, you know, grew up in Vegas, and having her see me on a stage in Vegas, and it was just like, it doesn't get better. Like, it couldn't have been a better stage, and it was a big, beautiful stage, and it's that will go down as like one of the best memories of my life. Even though I was so incredibly nervous and it was a rough time in my life, and I was so stressed out, but I still had a great time, and that whole experience with her there and you there with her made it great.
It was awesome. It was so much fun.
So it'll be fun to go back. We went back this last April too, and then this year we were like, I don't know, and then we realized it was on my birthday, and
we're like, well, we got it.
And then I was hired, so it's happening.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a time. So if you're able to come out, come visit us.
Please come with us.
Say happy birthday to Nikki or Moxie, whoever she'll be.
In April, not now.
In April, yeah. Not now. Be cool. 5 months from now.
I don't want to push this 41 thing. I'm gonna live out this 40 as long as I can.
Dirty 40s.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was dirty 30. It's frisky 40.
Okay, if you want to see the frisky 40s,
I don't know.
There's Moxie Gold over here. Then come on down to Vegas because we'll be there pretty much every month. Yeah. And then moving on, we got 2 more. Hang in there, everybody. We're
Maybe
very
let's
excited.
just do 1 more.
No, let's do both.
Okay.
It's okay. We got plenty of time. This next one, I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
Because of a lot more reasons, but being the main one is going back to what I still consider the biggest stage that we have in this, not in the sense of scope, or sorry, not in the sense of actual size, but like in the sense of scope of our Lindy Hop world scene, is the International Lindy Hop Championships. And we're both got invited to be judges, so send your number. No, I'm not gonna say that loud.
Judgy.
So judgy. I was gonna ask for bribes, but no,
Don't do
I'm
that.
not asking for bribes.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Morally illegal.
I think it's just illegal.
This is illegal. Well then, don't do that. But we're very excited. I'm very excited to head back there again. It's kind of like manifesting these things. I feel like my role in the Lindy Hop scene has moved into a different area. It's not what it was before, which is like always pushing for the next festival, always trying to be seen, always trying to like communicate and connect with people and work on stuff all the time, which I like we said earlier, I'm of 2 minds of like I really do miss a lot of it. Like it was a really great time, but also it was a very hard time, but also I love where my life is right now, and I love fostering the next generations and helping our local community grow through Atomic. But being at ILHC is like a different animal. Like I hope that we're able to put something together for ourselves right? In the same sense that you were saying before for the festivals, where like you're gonna put something together, you're gonna be really proud of it, but like, you know, like I'm not going there necessarily to win. I really want to do good for myself, and I want to put something together that I feel really confident and really proud of, and then put it out there for the world to see. And I think that's first and foremost, beyond everything else. Like I remember talking to when I was doing Sentimental Mood with Joe Hoffberg. I remember having a conversation. We did like a rough draft version for just Kevin Saint Laurent, and I wanted his feedback. And the first thing he asked me was like, "Do you want to win with that? Like, do you not? You know, he didn't ask me with that. He's just like, "Do you want to win?" And I was like, "No." And he was super shocked. He's like, whoa, all this stuff. And he gave me his perception on it. And like, honestly, like I respect the guy. He's won a ton, and Joe has won a ton, like independently and together. But I think what I came down to after he kind of like told me his piece, I was like, I totally understand that, but like, I'm not going there to take anybody's place. Like I'm in this kind of different invitational weirdness round of it all, which can seem very strange, but I'm going to use that so I can put something out there for the world to see and get judged not by these 5 to 7 people, but be judged by the world, because that's really intimidating to me. And I was like, I really want to go for that. I want to put something that's very different and borderline, was it quotes, quote unquote, not Lindy Hop.
Oh yeah.
But I think it holds a special place for me. Like I feel like once you get to a point where like it doesn't matter about the winning thing, it doesn't matter about like trying to get the next gig. It's just like what matters is what you create and put on that dance floor, and that is first and foremost. And I can't wait to be back there watching everybody. And I may not agree with everything I see out there, but god damn it, I'm gonna be proud of the people who are performing on that stage. And I can't wait to be up in the front row watching all that.
Yeah, it takes so much to put yourself out there and say something original and unique, and that is so you. And I don't just mean you, but I mean like the general you, like to put yourself in that position where you're willing to put yourself out there. And I hate that we all put ourselves in this box of what we think things need to be. And I love when people push that envelope and, you know, go to new places with it. And I'm really excited to see, you know, after all this time, we didn't go to ILHC last year. I have a general idea, but I kind of purposefully didn't watch all the stuff coming out of there, just because, no, not like it's like, I don't want to see it. I watched what came my way, but I didn't go searching for it.
Oh man, it's so good. Last year was so
the stuff that I saw was amazing, but it wasn't like, I don't need to go watch that to form where I think the scene should be. You know what I mean? I see our local scene, and I see what's happening, and I see where we are with our dancing, and I'm excited to be there in this new capacity where everybody has been through a lot. Everybody has changed. The dance has changed. The scene has changed. The trends have changed.
Yeah.
And I want to see with like fresh eyes where we are.
Yeah. You know what's really good about, like, I feel, I know that sentiment very well. I feel like I subscribe to it very, very often in my life, where I'm like, I don't want to see the thing to see where everybody's at. Like, I still want to be like kind of, I forget what the word is, but like kind of just remove myself so I can have my own kind of image of it and see what's around me and be influenced by that. But I think one of the biggest advices I ever got was in a like clothing store at a mall, where this person, sales associate, was helping me, and I was just like asking questions, and I just like looked up at a mannequin, and like I loved the outfit the mannequin was wearing. I was like, is it weird that like I want that outfit? Like, is that really shitty of me? And the guy's like, honestly, can I tell you? I was like, go for it. I thought he was gonna tell me. He's like, no, that's horrible. Like, don't ever do that. Don't ever go with him. But instead, he said the complete opposite. He's like, you know what? Someone created that. Someone went into bags and bags of clothing and put that together because they went to possibly school for that, or they are super passionate about that and know what looks good, appeasing to someone like yourself, or anybody that loves those colors together, wants that outfit together, but never could do that on their own without somebody else like that being passionate or educated enough to show that. And I'm like, oh shit, like that's a great idea. And he's like, that's why trends happen. It's like people create them, and then other people see them and then create their own thing based off that. It may not be the exact same thing, but it may be pieces of it. And I'm like, oh. And like, I just saw, like, I've always held that in my head. And I was like, I must have been, let's say 18, 17, somewhere around there, right? And hearing that and like affecting me almost 20 years later, where I'm just like, oh my God, like that was one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten, because now I'm able to see everything in sort of that way. I want to go search it out. I want to see it, but not because I want to be like, I need to be on the pulse of a Lindy Hop community.
Yeah.
No, it's more like I want to see what's cool and see how it affects me and see where my trail goes off. Just like I was saying before, for all the burlesque festivals we're gonna go to, like I can't wait to see that stuff, because I can't wait to see where my mind ends up imagining. And like that's why like last ILHC I was like definitely waiting, and I got to be a judge for the virtual contest of ILHC last year, so I got to see a lot of versions of that. I was like, holy shit, there's so much good shit out there.
Yeah, I think for you, because you were already a part of the judging process, you naturally saw a lot of the stuff that was being put out there. I mean, obviously, because you had to, because you're judging it.
Naturally.
But for me, I had to watch it like as it came through on social media or things that, I made a point to watch in general because I heard about them, but just to sit there and watch all of the footage from all of last year when we were at a different event, I feel like I was in a different place where I was like absorbing what was happening at the event that we were at, and seeing how that compared to what was happening at this other event, and compare contrast. It's really interesting how even though there was these two completely different events happening, how they were, a lot of the stuff that came out, like it did coincide, and it did, there were similarities, and there were the same similar trends, and I think it's really interesting, and I don't know, it's kind of the magic of this dance, is we all kind of end up, and it happens in burlesque too, but we all kind of end up on the same wavelength, like based on our outside influences, we all get there, but in a different way. Yeah,
I think it might be fun, really, and like we did this once in the other podcast I did with Rachel, where we watched something and then we kind of like commented as it happened. I would love to do that with you. No, not in a bad way. Like, I
don't like commentary. Okay.
No, it's so much fun. It's so much fun because we'll watch it and we'll put like a microphone next to it so that the audience can hear what we're hearing, and then the video will be like picture in picture. Anyways, all these little things.
Do you remember that when there was commentary at ILHC?
Yeah, I was part of that.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is, do you remember when there was commentary at ILHC?
Yeah, it was super fun.
I'm not going to say anything about
it. It was super, super fun.
It was fun for who? You as a commentator?
Yeah, but think of it this way. That was meant to be commentary, not to be a live, silent thing. Imagine watching like a sports event. Is it silent the whole time?
No.
Yeah, and I think was it great? No, absolutely not. We were a bunch of amateurs doing it, right? But it was super fun. I think it added something at the time, and I think if we had the chance to do it again, I would definitely jump at the chance to do it again, but more learned.
Learned?
More learned.
I have thoughts about this.
Yeah, I know. But this is after the fact, because like I also like I will say like it does detach you from watching the actual artistry of it all.
I think it distracts from what is happening. It takes away from the art and the magic of Lindy Hop.
Totally, but in this case right here, it would be after the fact. It wouldn't be live.
After the fact, maybe. Like I might be willing, but I feel like we need to do it to like a super silly routine.
Yeah, we could do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Do something that's like obviously on a different plane, and like we're not. I don't know. I hate commentary in general, even if it's like ice skating. I can't.
I feel like well, that's the worst. I hate that one. I hate that one. But I feel like it's more of this idea if we have guided commentary in the sense of like we've done this like a long ass time ago. I don't remember the last time I did it, but we watch a clip or an old clip and only talk about the things that we really liked, and that's it. Noticing that there's things we're just not going to talk about, and that's okay, because why focus on it? Like, only focus on it if you're going to be like, I liked when they did that because then it made me think I could do it like this or maybe better. But that was a whole different thing. That was more guided towards dancing than it is straight commentary. Anyways, that little side mark for you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. That was a real life discussion that we always have, the back and forth. The very last. Sorry. Yes. Oh, one thing. ILHC is in fucking New York City, which is amazing. I'm going to say that with a capital amazing because of pizza.
That's why it's amazing. It's amazing because of pizza.
I love pizza so much. It was so good. It's so good. Even that 99-cent slice. So good.
It is so good. I do love it very, very much.
Yeah, and we're thinking about like maybe staying like an extra day or two. We'll see that.
Oh, for sure. That'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get pizza with us in New York, we know a place.
Yeah, we know a couple places with an ex middleweight boxing champ.
Yeah, with posters like this on the wall.
Really so stay tuned, y'all. The very last thing we're going to talk about is month 6 is in June of 2023. We will be returning
I
to.
Don't want to. Like, okay, it's the Burlesque Hall of Fame weekend. It's a big deal. It's like the Super Bowl of burlesque.
Like ILHC.
It is. It's ILHC of burlesque, and it's really, really amazing. And drink. I submitted this year, which I'm gonna feel really shitty if I like didn't get in. But no, it's like the big one. So if I don't get in, it's fine. I get it. I always, it's kind of like imposter syndrome. We all deal with it on some level. For myself, that was the one festival. I'm like, I don't know if I have anything to contribute. Like nothing's good enough. And I just kind of went for it, and I threw some stuff in there. And again, like, put me where you want me. I don't need to compete. Whatever you think I should do. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But either way, we're going again to Vegas because, of course, it's in Vegas.
Time over 3. That's fine.
It's better than last year.
Yeah, seriously.
But anyway, it's a big deal, and it's like all of the most amazing performers from all over the world meet in this one location and perform on this amazing stage, and it's really, really cool. Just as an artist in general and performance art in general, it's one of the most amazing things I've been to. And we've talked about this before on the podcast. You can go back and check out. I think it's Burlesque and Bubbles from our first season. We talk a lot about Behalf, but it's definitely worth checking out, even as a spectator or a fan of this art form.
It's really, really, absolutely otherworldly to walk into that theater at the Orleans in Vegas and sit down for a 6-hour show that is non-stop people getting naked. Plain out and simple. But after that, it only gets better. Like, that's like the base level. Like, you're gonna go to a 6-hour show where people are getting naked. After that, it's like watching these amazing performers just put their heart and soul into a routine and really put it out there, just like we talked about IHC, just like we talked about with pretty much everything. This is where, again, I go back to what we talked about at Cowbow. Like, we can all day talk about the things that separate us and things that make us special, but like at the end of the day, we're all performers and we're all people that have come up, creatives that come up with things that are meant to be seen by the public, and once they are, they're no longer ours anymore. Once they're seen by everybody, then it's a whole different, it takes on a life of its own. But I think what's really important, and it's something that you touch on, you're like, you're not really pushing for winning or like getting in the festival. Like, it's cool if you do, and it like put you wherever you need to, right? Mm-hmm. But just imagine the day will come that you're like, I have the act that I want to create that's gonna happen. I guarantee you it's gonna happen because you have too much of a competitive spirit to not let that happen. One day a thing's gonna come up in your head and you're gonna be like, I need this to be this, this, and this, and this. And then you're gonna grow it into this actuality, and it'll happen there. Or it'll happen at some festival, and like you'll see it happen. Just like you told me earlier, I manifested that stuff with like MCing and going forward in the Lindy Hop community. You're gonna manifest that for sure. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen for sure. I can see it growing.
Maybe.
And maybe we'll go on stage together someday. Maybe.
Trying to convince him.
She wants me to
but
strip.
He did already. No, I don't. I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to stop you.
But we did 2 muses ago in November.
November.
Mm-hmm. She did an amazing piece to Stardust by Nat King Cole, the version by Nat King Cole.
Such a beautiful
piece. And in the middle of it, she performed it. Sorry, I'm speaking for you, but you performed at this great little event in San Diego with our friend Lowe's Murr, who put it on for the USO. And you kind of like started thinking about it and telling me about it, and I was like, oh, that's cool, that's really cool. Then after the first performance, I was like, I saw this part that like maybe I could dance with you, and you turned to me like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And the whole ride back from San Diego up, we were like talking about the possibilities of making it happen for Muse, and I was like, let's do it. Let's just do it. So you glittered me up and I join you on stage for a little swaying back and forth, a little dippity here, a little dippity there, and then
That's cute.
And then the fans covered you, and then I took that robe off of you, and our dishwasher's done. And now the possibility has happened that maybe we can make that different. Make that more.
Being on the Muse stage, it was great to have Mikey up there, but the stage is so small and so limited that we can only do this like very small back and forth motion, and the way that we typically slow dance together is like big circles and moves a ton, which would be great on a big stage with a lot of movement, and it would be really fun to put something together that, you know, is kind of Tears-esque, but Tears is an old routine of ours, but in this newer, mature, different version of us. So I think it could be really fun.
This dating version of us.
What?
You said it first, to be fair.
I did.
But we're very excited for these first 6 months of 2023 with so many different events that we're going to. Yes, we have a little bit of FOMO of not going to Lindy Focus this year, but we're going to make it up in the first 6 months of next year.
And then some. Yeah.
And then some. And there's going to be more, and we're always pushing ourselves forward. I know with our whole relationship in the past 19 years, which I just thought about this month, it's 19 years.
Crazy, we're so old.
I know, exactly. 19 years, we've pushed each other to levels that maybe we weren't able to before. And I am super happy to see what we do next and see what happens in the next year alone, let alone the next couple years.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that being said, our closing question of the day is, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, definitely not. I feel like I'm going to tip in nice and quiet, tiptoe. I don't want to disrupt anything on the way in.
Sounds all right.
We're just going to see how it plays out. I don't want to need this new year, new me, none of that. I just want to like swoop in and let it happen naturally.
I have two.
Okay.
I have two New Year's resolutions.
Which are?
One, I need to make it to the fucking gym more. I think I'm going to go running more. That's what needs to happen. It's just like, ugh, I just feel like such a slug.
Apparently walking is the thing.
No, that's just TikTok.
Like incline walking.
This is TikTok.
No, it's like all the rage.
But
on all the
read up on it.
stuff.
Read up on it. There's always a back and forth. There's always a back and forth with all that shit. Anyways, but definitely running. Maybe not as hard as I used to, but definitely more consistent. Like definitely need it off my butt.
What's the second?
Second thing is to go along with that is to just create more with you and more dancing stuff, and it's more all encompassing. I said more create as opposed to just more dancing, because like this new thing with Beehoff could be really amazing, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But in the same sense, that means we get to practice and we get to like just dance together in this like what I hear is a great ballroom called the Honk Ballroom, very much open in the daytime and the mornings. And, and I want more of that. That's my New Year's resolution, putting it out there so I can like really attach it, really connect to it. I'm okay with where my life is right now because it's moving in a way that is like, for lack of a better term, amazing. But definitely there is that part of me that I'm like, okay, I still need to remember, I still want to dance. I still want to be that creative. I still want to be that performer, you know? And I'm putting it out there for the New Year's to resolve, right? Resolution,
yeah.
Right? Resolve.
I think that I don't like to think of resolutions because it's so easy to break.
Oh, yeah,
it's so easy to like, this is my New Year's resolution, and then it you know, you don't do it, then you feel shitty, like I broke my resolution. But I don't like that in general.
Right.
I like the idea of thinking about, like, we say this all the time, but manifesting what we want for the future. And I think I want to work smarter, not harder.
Right.
I think if that was like a thing to put out into the universe, is that we work so hard all of the time. And we say we work hard, we play hard and all that, but it's still like, it's that grind, it's that hustle, it's that struggle all the time. And I've said this a couple times on the podcast in the past, but it's so real that I want to find myself in a place where I'm, again, working smarter, doing things that are progressing forward but aren't draining me and aren't making me feel like I'm spinning wheels and not getting anywhere, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a really good place to go. Like, I think with all things that we should be doing, it's not necessarily we need to be working harder. I know at some point our bodies are just can't take it anymore. We can't like dance super fast, but like I still think
we can.
At some point, I said not now.
Okay.
It was like, but now we still can. Yeah. Well, that other day we did that same USO event. We did Keep On Jumping, which I had never clocked in with beats per minute, and it's like I was like, oh shit, it's 250 beats per minute. No wonder I'm like panting like a sad little donkey, like. But that alone, like doing that, and that was like 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 months ago, and I was like, oh shit, we could still do it. Mm-hmm. And then like every time we do something like that, I'm always like, okay, now what's the next one? What's another fast song that we can like do 45 seconds to a minute of routine and just call it a day? Mm-hmm. Like that's super fun to me. Like not doing these 2-3 minute songs anymore. It's like, can I do 30 seconds to a minute of creation? Like, oh, that's like life for me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Cheers. Cheers to the little bit you have left. A little sippy sip.
Water.
A little sippity sip of water. And with that, we say thank you guys so much for watching. You can always catch our podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Google Play Store, and anywhere else. You can catch this video on YouTube. Visit our links. Come see Muse if you're in Orange County. If you're not in Orange County, take a plane, not through Buffalo, but through like other places that are warmer, and then get to California, and then go to Muse. And then if you're a dancer, come to a Tom Bottom, because that's where we dance as well.
Yeah.
I know. I just really wanted to say that out loud. That was just sounding really funny in my head. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you later.
And bye.
Kissed you right in the cheek. Now I'm gonna kiss you in the mouth.